Senator Rapi Tulfo ayaw maniwala na may sakit si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte kaya wala siyang balak na mag-yes para sa interim release ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Tulfo, magaling lang talaga sa kanyang show pero sa Senado ay nagiging trapo. Pero bago ang lahat, mag-subscribe na sa aking YouTube channel upang updated ka sa mga mahahalagang balita sa ating bansa. Tila hindi nga kumbinsido si Senator Rapi Tulfo na may sakit ang dating Pangulo kaya wala umano siyang balak na bumoto ng yes para sa interim release nito. Hamon niya sa kampo ni dating Pangulong Duterte na patunayan nila na mayroon nitong karamdaman bago siya bumoto na pumabor siya sa house arrest. Saad pa niya, if we will use the reason as humanitarian, that's why we have to put the former President Rodrigo Duterte under house arrest. I will vote yes. But it should be proven na merong sakit kasi yun po ang lumalabas sa balita na may sakit siya. Matanda na siya. Hindi na kumakain. Hindi nakakatulog. Then, if it's true, I'll cast my vote as yes. Pero without proof, then I will abstain. Abstain po, Mr. President. End quote. Sa kabila ng hindi pagpabor ng ilang senador, ay nanaig pa rin ang boto ng karamihan na dapat ma-house arrest ang dating Pangulo. Ayon sa isinagawang botohan, 15 ang pumabor at kumontra naman sina Senadora Risa Hontiveros, Kiko Pangilinan at Bam Aquino habang nag-abstain sina Senate President Tito Soto at Senator Rapi Tulfo.
Resolution expressing the sense of the Senate requesting the International Criminal Court to hold former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte under house arrest for humanitarian considerations.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. May we recognize our distinguished minority floor leader, Senator Alan Peter Compañero Cayetano, to sponsor the measure.
Senator, the Minority Leader, Senator Alan Cayetano, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, allow me to just say some words that is personal to me as a person, as a Christian, as a Filipino, as a senator of this republic. I remember, Mr. President, na pinag-uusapan kasi yung smuggling ng bigas at nandito po si then Mayor Duterte. In fact, dun muna siya naghintay sa kwarto ni Senator Pia. And in the course of their conversation, tinawag nila ako, we joined. Then may nasabi si Mayor Duterte doon that caught my ear, no? So, sabi niya, Pia, Senator, formal siya, sabi niya, Senators, Senator Pia, Senator Alan, how I deal with criminals in Davao, I take responsibility, and one day, before God, I have to account. Not exact words, but basically ang sinasabi niya, nung na-elect siya, he has to take responsibility, and he knows there is an accounting. Few years later, September 29, 2015, hindi ko po makalimutan, lumipad po ako Davao. I asked him if he's running for president, and I asked him if I could join him. He took a piece of paper, he drew yung mga graduate ng PMA, police, and then pag nagiging colonel, nagiging militar, and then he started talking about corruption and how drugs corrupted the law enforcement, and then how it will spread sa judges, sa politicians, etc. No? Long story short, after that night, instead of asking him to run, sabi niya hindi siya tatakbo, or instead of asking him if I could run as his vice president, lumabas na lang sa bibig ko na if you run, I will be for you. If you choose me, I will campaign with you. If you don't choose me, I am now committed to you. And as we say, the rest is history. There's a lot of things that we have to account for. There's a lot of truths that have to be uncovered on the part of those who are pro-Duterte. There's a firm belief that it was to protect the human rights of all Filipinos, especially against the menace of drugs. On the side of some human rights activists, tingin nila this is some deranged maniac who just wants to kill everyone. So yun yung extremes. But I remember, I think a year, 2 years ago, I met a pastor, nagkwentuhan kami. Then he said a prayer, then he told me, you know, Alan, God wants you to know that Duterte is not as good as how his supporters describe him to be. But he is also not as bad as how his detractors want him to be or describe him to be. The point is, Mr. President, we can go back and forth about history, but the wheels of justice is moving, whether here in the country or in the ICC. Having said that, I know three things. One, you are presumed innocent until you're proven guilty. And all human rights activists will say, yung tunay ha, hindi yung natukunare na human rights activist. Ang sasabihin po, yung humanitarian treatment. Meron po kasing nagsasabing human rights activist pero siya, bakit siya? Hindi niya binigyan ng due process at pinatay niya. I can't help but remember people like Rene Sagisag who stood tall here in the Senate na kahit anong baho nung kaso o nung issue, pagtingin niya dapat may magtanggol, pagtatanggol niya. Di ba? Kasi sabi niya, they deserve a lawyer. No matter how you think they're guilty, etc. So there are a lot of human rights activists we should and we can and we should pay tribute to. But my point is this: it is not against the tenets of human rights to allow any person, especially a former president of the country, to be under house arrest or to be under a country supervised under ICI, especially in the condition of President Duterte, who is 80 years old, who is, well, at least when he was brought there, was mentally strong. I don't really know how he is now. Pero, Mr. President, I mean, tayo, magkakasama tayo nung pandemic. You were Senate President, I was Speaker, Senate Majority Leader, was Majority Leader. Grabe po yung lungkot nung sa bahay, opisina ka lang. We were still holding office, pero can you imagine how President Duterte is coping now? So I'll oversimplify the resolution, and I know members of the Senate, especially the minority, will also speak. No, most of us here served with President Duterte, regardless whether we're always in agreement, disagreement with him. I wasn't always in agreement with him. No, but having said that, Mr. President, ang appeal lang po is humanitarian treatment, and ang appeal po is that we do it as a country. So first step ang Senate, but I'll use this podium to appeal to Malacanang. Might disagree very much with the Dutertes now, with all his children or most of his children, with some of his grandchildren, with people who claim to be Duterte diehard supporters. But again, balik tayo sa humanitarian. Pag tinakpan natin yung pangalan o yung mukha niya at ganun yung sitwasyon, tutulong ba tayo o hindi? Di ba? So, I was looking for something to read the other night. Nabuksan ko po yung isang libro saying, hindi bago nung sinabi ng Panginoon Jesucristo, love your enemies, pray for them, pray for people who prosecute you. Sabi sa Leviticus pa lang, nandun na yon. So I guess part of our struggle as a people is, how to deal with each other when we disagree politically. And again, hindi ko po binababa yung temperature. Human rights is important. All these issues should be threshed out, and it will be threshed out in the ICC. Di ba? May ICI ka na dito, may ICC ka doon. So, but one thing we don't want to do, no, is to see the former president suffer as if it is a punishment when he has not been convicted. So, Mr. President, this is not only for him, but it is for us as a nation. I cannot imagine what the country will do if something, I don't want to say it, but if something happens with him in the detention center at wala man tayong ginawa. So I'd like to thank you, Mr. President, Majority Leader. I'd like to thank our colleagues that we took this up today, but I'd like to appeal to the palace na pag-aralan din nila. Just on that humanitarian. Huwag nyo nang pansinin lahat ng tumitira o nagsasabi sa inyo o sa politika. Ang punto dito, he's a citizen of our country. He's 80 years old. He needs medical attention. He needs his family. He needs people to talk to. So thank you for this opportunity, Mr. President, and may I defer naman to the Majority Leader who will also sponsor this measure. Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority Leader,
Thank you, Mr. President. May I be allowed to just co-sponsor the measure? If I may.
proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, yung akin dito hindi politika. Hindi na politika po. whether I'm administration or on the other side, I'm for the country. You know that. I'm for the Senate. I believe in the Senate. And I believe the leaders of the Senate, the leadership of the Senate, and of course the leaders of our country. We want our country to move forward. But out of humanitarian concerns, I have a father, Mr. President, who's 85 years old. He might be listening right now, as a matter of fact. And as 85 years old, he has to be assisted. Because once you're over 80 years old, po, your balance, you have a problem with your balance. I see that with my father and my mother that has to be assisted. She's 82. Mr. President, yung tatay ko may medyo hindi na early stage dementia kasi minsan nakakalimot na rin siya sa mga anak niya. At talagang pag ganun ang stage, pati gamot, nakakalimutan niya. So imagine you have a leader, former leader of the president, on isolation in that area na not assisted. Talagang madideteriorate yung tao, Mr. President. We accord in the Philippine law accords persons of or detainees, persons deprived of liberty, a chance to see their family, a chance to even get visitors from not just family members but also other members of their circle. I remember also former President Joseph Estrada was given hospital arrest, and he was also given he was accorded certain liberties even when he was arrested. Former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo also was given hospital arrest and given certain liberties also while arrested. Ako hindi na po ito politika. Huwag nyo nang isipin, DDS o Marcos or kabila. Hindi po. Ito po, I'm speaking as a son who has a father that has the same illnesses that the president is feeling right now. So mine is more a humanitarian, compassionate request. That's why we toned down the resolution, Mr. President. Ginawa ko na lang po one-page resolution, just showing in view of his age and deteriorating health, asking the ICC, we're just appealing to the ICC to allow it within the rules. It's allowed within the rules. As a matter of fact, there has been instances in the past that they granted this kind of privilege to persons with deprived of liberty. So yun lamang po, Mr. President. I don't want to belate the point any further. Hindi po to politika, hindi dahil ganito ganyan. Walang political color to. It's just for humanitarian reasons, Mr. President. I know some of the families who are victims who would probably be angry at me, and I understand that. Pero yung akin siguro, if the position was done on anybody, sabi nga ni Senator Alan, may it be anyone, as a Filipino citizen, deprived of liberty abroad, we always grant help that we can. As a matter of fact, many death row inmates who've done karumal-dumal na krimen sa ibang bansa na Pilipino ay binibigyan po natin ng legal assistance. And also, we try to push for their clemency. As a matter of fact, marami pong binigyan ng clemency in Middle East countries requested by the President. So, yun lamang po, Mr. President. And maraming salamat sa ating mga kapatid na nakikinig po sa akin na yun. Mr. President, to co-sponsor the measure, we'd like to also recognize on the line of sponsorship, we have Senator Bato de la Rosa, Senator Bongo, Senator Robin Hood Padilla, and Senator Jingo Estrada. May we recognize, Mr. President, Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa.
Senator.
Mr. President, I rise to appeal to our colleagues to support measures urging the government to advocate before the International Criminal Court for the interim release of former President Rodrigo Duterte, or just place the former president under house arrest. Mr. President, I believe that there comes a time when the measure of a nation is not in the strength of its laws, but in the depth of its compassion. Ang tunay na malasakit, simpatya at kalinga natin sa isa't isa ay ang totoong sukat ng ating makatarungan at makataong lipunan. Pilipino rin po si Tatay Digong. Last Saturday, nagpalabas po ng official statement si Vice President Sara Duterte hinggil sa insidente kung saan nadatnan ng mga personnel ng ICC detention facility si Tatay Digong na walang malay. Kinumpirma rin po ito ng kanyang abogado. Kinakailangang dalhin si Tatay Digong sa ospital upang masuri kung meron ba siyang injuries, lalo-lalo na po sa kanyang ulo. Sa totoo lamang po, nung nabalitaan ko po ito, ang sakit, napaluha po ako. Sobra pa po sa tatay ang turing ko sa kanya. At kahit na hindi na po siya presidente, maalala ko, December, November, monthly po siya nagpapa-medical check-up sa Cardinal. And he is scheduled nung March 12. December, January, February, March 12. para sa follow-up check-up niya. Kahit linggo po, sinasamahan ko yan. At alam ko po yung mismo yung gamot niya. 27 po yung pinapadala ko sa kanya. Nag-order yung mga nurse niya. Tsaka, hindi niya talaga sinasabi kung na-slide siya noon. For the past 3 years, ayaw niyang sabihin sa common law wife niya, sa partner niya si Ma'am Hanilet, na tinatago niya parati sa kanya. Sa akin siya tumatawag. Sabi niya, wag mong sabihin. Ayaw ko nang magpa-check up. At ang makakapagdala sa kanya sa ospital, yung doktor lang po niya. Pag tinatakot namin siya through his doctor. Totoo po yun. Ang nakakatakot lang po ngayon, wala po siyang matatawagan, wala siyang masasabihan. At kilala ko po si Tatay Digong. Ano yun eh. Siya na mismo parang pagod na rin po siya. Parati niyang sinasabi noon pagkatapos ng kanyang presidency, pagod na. Talagang tinamaan rin po yung kanyang katawan, yung kanyang edad. Sa kanyang edad at during the pandemic, maalala ko 2016 kasama si Senator Cayetano. Miikot, sobrang lakas pa niya noon. Pero panahon ng pandemya, wala na. Talagang humina po siya na minsan natutumba lang. Siguro hindi ko na po mabilang sa kamay ko ilang beses na po siyang natumba mismo sa bahay niya. Dahil sa mahina na yung tuhod, minsan nakakalimot na po siya. Pilipino naman po si Tatay Digong. Masakit lang po sa akin dahil sa totoo lang, sobra pa po sa tatay ang turing ko sa kanya. Mas nakakasama ko po siya for the past 25 years kesa sa totoo kong tatay. Totoong tatay ko, 5 taon ko hindi nakikita. Tatay Digong, 350 out of 365 days. Nakakasama ko siya until 2022 dahil tapos na po ko yung termino niya at may trabaho naman po ako dito sa Senado. Ang nakakalungkot po dito, baka God forbid, meron pang mas malalang mangyari sa susunod sa kanya. Mas nakakatakot po yun kung doon po mangyari ito sa ibang bansa. Ako po ay nakikiusap sa ating mga kasamahan, kahit nga sabi ni Senator Bato, suntok sa buwan po ito. Bago po huli ang lahat, sana po ay maramdaman naman niya yung ating suporta. Kahit pa paano naman po ay naglingkod po siya sa atin ng 6 na taon ng buong puso. Hindi na po tatakbo ng presidente dapat yon. Pero sa hindi po inaasahang pagkakataon, tumakbo po siya at pili po ng Pilipino. Former President Duterte has absolutely no intention to evade or escape accountability. If any, ilang beses na niyang sinabi, he takes full responsibility for his decisions. Ang hinihingi lang po natin ay konting konsiderasyon lang po para sa isang Pilipino na naging leader natin noon. Na talaga naman pong binigay niya po ang lahat para sa ating mga kababayan. Di po ako titigil sa aking pakikiusap sa lahat. Let's bring him home. Hindi po sanay mag-isa si former President Duterte. Mahirapan talaga yon at hindi ko po alam kung hanggang kailan niya po matitiis na mag-isa. 2 araw lang, naghahanap ng kausap yon, naghahanap ng mapupuntahan. Sana po magkaisa po ang Pilipino. Sana po wag nating ipagkait kay Pangulong Duterte ang karapatang dito na po tumanda sa atin. Sana po ay matuldukan na po ang pagkawatak-watak nating mga Pilipino. Ang gulo na po ng ating bayan, mas lalong gugulo po kung merong mangyari sa kanya. Once again, I'm appealing to our colleagues to support and call for the house arrest of former President Duterte. Kung ano man pong pwede nating maitulong sa kanya bago huli na po ang lahat. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next to sponsor the measure, Senator Robin Hood Padilla, Mr. President.
Senator Robin Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Una po sa lahat, gusto ko rin po magpasalamat sa mga senador na nagbigay po sa amin ng lakas loob upang ilapit po sa inyo itong usapin na ito. Alam niyo po, mga kasama, ang pagkakakilala ko po kay Tatay Digong, kaya po siya ay aking iniidolo. Ito pong taong ito ay matapang na tao. Nasa kanya po lahat ng katangian, parang isang katulad ko ay sumaludo. Pero dumadating po sa punto na ang isang tao ay tumatanda. Alam niyo po, kung ikukumpara ko yung pangungulungan ko dito sa Pilipinas, sa pangungulungan ng ating Tatay Digong, ay napakalayo po. Sapagkat ang kulungan po natin ay hindi po parehas ng kulungan sa ibang bansa. Si Digong po ay nakakulong sa napakaliit na kwarto. May oras po para siya ay lumabas. Halos buong araw siya po ay nasa loob ng kwarto na yan na meron lang pong maliit na butas kung saan po inaabot ang kanyang pagkain. Napakahirap po dahil dito po sa atin, sa amin sa Muntinlupa, ang tawag po namin doon Bartolina. Yun po ang itsura ng kinalalagyan ni Tatay Digong. Siya po ay nasa Bartolina. Wala po siya doon nakakausap, wala po siyang nakakakwentuhan, at higit sa lahat, napakahirap po para sa isang nangungulungan na sa ganong edad ay nag-iisa ka, wala pong nag-aasikaso sa iyo. Alam niyo po, ang aking mahal na ina, nung siya po ay nag-umpisa na nagkaroon ng mild dementia, siya po ay 80 years old. Ang aking pong ina ngayon ay 89, siya po ay may advanced dementia na. Kaya batid ko po kung ano ang hinagpis ng mga nagmamahal kay Tatay Digong. Kung paano po nakakalimot sa kanyang pangalan, nakakalimot sa pangalan ng mga anak niya, nakakalimot sa mga bagay na may kilalaman sa katawan niya, kung kailan siya dudumi, kung kailan siya iihi. Mga bagay po yan na inilalapit ko po sa ating mga kasamahan at sa mga kababayan natin. Kung sana po ay mapagbigyan ang aming kahilingan. Hindi naman po kami humihingi na siya po ay pakawalan. Ang hinihingi po namin, siya po ay maialis sa Bartolina. Iba po ang pangungulungan sa ibang bansa sa pangungulungan sa atin. Alam ko po, batid ko po, meron pong mga katulad niya na nakulong dito sa bayan natin. Na mga politiko na nakulong dito sa bayan natin. Pero iba po na hindi ka nakakulong sa sarili mong bayan. Yun lamang po, mga mahal kong kasama dito bilang mga Pilipino. Bilang mga Pilipino, isang matandang Pilipino ang merong karamdaman sa kanyang pisikal at mental. Siguro po, sa ating mga ugaling revolusyonaryo sa pagkakataong ito, kailangan tayong bumangon at sagipin natin ang ating kababayan. Yun lamang po, maraming salamat.